Welcome to Lausitzring and the second race in the ADAC GT Masters here in the sunshine. Boy, it's hot. To just say, Chris Hartley and myself, having legged it from a media conference back up to the commentary booth. And it really is very, very warm indeed. A fantastic crowd here, a fantastic grid of cars, as you would expect from the ADAC GT Masters. What a race this is going to be. 1 hour plus 1 lap, of course. 2 drivers across every car, and you could not get a better mix of racing cars than is on the grid for this GT Masters race, could you?
Absolutely not. Yesterday was the day of the Porsches, the first Porsche victory of the season, with Robert Renauer and Martin Ragginger getting only their second victory in the championship. Lamborghini Huracan coming second was Rolf Finischen and Christian Engelhardt, who's also been racing in his more regular championship, the Porsche Carrera Cup, this weekend. And then we had a couple of Corvettes, third and fourth yesterday. Dominic Schweger and Patrick Assenheimer rounding out the podium. And it's that car, the Callaway Competition entry car, that starts on pole position for this race. 2 qualifying sessions in the ADAC GT Masters weekends. The first qualifying session sets the grid for race 1, the second for race 2. And each of the 2 drivers takes part in one of those qualifying sessions. So the driver that took part in qualifying 2 was Dominic Schweger. He therefore has to start the race. And there you can see some of the huge variety of different buttons and gadgets that the drivers have to try and deal with inside the cockpit, as well as driving these cars at an average speed around this circuit of over 150 kilometres an hour. Absolutely phenomenal, isn't it? Fantastic cars, fantastic weather, a huge crowd to enjoy this festival of motorsports. The ADAC GT Masters and ADAC Formula 4 and DTM all come together, along with the Carrera Cup as well, to put on what has been a fantastic weekend of motorsport around this 3.4 kilometre circuit, where the facilities for the spectators are absolutely brilliant. If you're in that grandstand that you're looking at on screen right now, basically, Chris, this was built as a tri-oval but used as an infield section, and if you're in one of the seats in there, and incidentally we are right at the very top of that, you can see the whole of the circuit, can't you? The facilities are fantastic. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's the prime place to be, really, because you can see the circuit, as you say, and you can also see the pit stops, which is of course crucial in GT Masters racing, with the mandatory pit stop that they'll have. They have to take it in a 10-minute window between 25 and 35 minutes into the race. There then is the Callaway Competition Corvette, which starts the race on pole position with a 6.1 litre engine. And it's Dominic Schweger that will start. Patrick Assenheimer will be in next, and the car was second for the first stint yesterday, just dropped to 3rd place during the pit window. That's where it finished in the end. So it's been a good weekend so far for these guys, but Martin Ragginger is going to be starting alongside, and Martin was mighty quick alongside his teammate Robert Renauer yesterday in that Porsche, and that is the car that won the race yesterday. They didn't win by very much. It's the closest finish we've had at 0.360 seconds. But in all honesty, Dave, they never really came under massive pressure, did they? No, they didn't. You're absolutely right. And just to go back to a point you were making a few moments ago with regards to the spectators can see the pits and therefore the pit stops and how crucially important they are as we look at Daniel Carvetz and Jules Gounon in that C7 GT3 from Callaway Competition. What a car. You know, places can be made or lost in those pit stops, and we saw that very much yesterday, didn't we? Yeah, absolutely. And the car which you just saw was one of the first to pit, actually. Jules Gounon started the race yesterday. Daniel Carvetz, former champion in 2013. Mighty quick driver. He's also been racing Porsches this weekend here at the circuit. They were the first of the front runners to make their pit stop, and it worked for them. It's all about, I mean, everybody has the same minimum pit stop time. But it's all about judging when to come in terms of avoiding the traffic, because it can get busy out there. We've got over 30 cars on the grid, 34 cars starting the race. So if you have a plan, you need to be a little bit flexible with it, because if you're coming up to traffic, there's a gap in the traffic, it might affect which lap you come in on. And Carvetz absolutely blitzed it, didn't he? He got in the car, put in a really quick couple of laps, and that was what enabled them to then charge through the order and get onto the podium in the second half of the race. It is the quiet before the storm of these fantastic. Like no other, I guess, is the Bentley that has not figured very well in qualifying, it has to be said, but cars were away then on their formation lap.
Christian Engelhardt going from the second row of the grid then. He, another one of those very, very busy drivers that has been taking part in the Porsche Carrera Cup as well as this ADAC GT Masters. 2 races across the weekend as well. Just from our vantage point up high, Rahal Frey and Philip Geipel's Audi getting away right from the very, very back of the grid. One of a number of drivers that got penalties yesterday. Rahal penalised enough by ending up in the gravel, truthfully, but there we are, starting from the back of the grid. Okay, here it is in full for you. Assenheimer and Schwager, then it's Renau and Raginger. It's Schwager and Raginger that will drive first, then it's Karlwitz and Christian Engelhardt from row 2 of the grid. Then we see Christopher Mies and Matteo Cairoli, Jaap van Lagen and Daniel Zampieri. 2 Lamborghini Hurricanes together there. Marcus Winkelhock, he was pretty grumpy yesterday, and Mirko Bortolotti. Then it's Luca Ludwig and Christopher Haas going from row 6 of the grid. Kelvin van der Linde and Robin Frins then are on row 7. As we get one of the backward-facing onboards, there's Guy Smith, and we go to row 9, Jordan Lee Pepper and Frederick Versic and Milos Pavlovic and Edward Sandstrom going from row 10, Zoncini and Claudia Hurtgen. A welcome return to the lady racer, Claudia Hurtgen. Marco Bononomi and Baz Schotthorst. It's Sylvester and Zanella on row 13. Then we see Emil Lindholm and Nicholas Pola, Xavier Maassen and Daniel Abt, Elliot Earhart and Boris Said. Then we see Sven Bart and Rahal Frey right at the back, and it was Daniel Abt that upset Marcus Winkelhock a little yesterday, Chris.
Yes, there was a rather animated conversation after they both ended up in the gravel trap yesterday. Although no penalty was applied to Daniel Abt, but fuming was Winkelhock. In terms of the championship then, Connor De Filippi and Christopher Mies, who only started 16th on the grid yesterday, but came through to finish in 6th place. They lead the championship on 68 points, but their lead has been cut. Daniel Karlwitz and Jules Gounon, second now in the championship on 55. Luca Ludwig and Sebastian Asch, the reigning champions, are just 1 point further back in 3rd. They failed to finish the race with a car problem yesterday, and that'll be worth watching from 11th on the grid in the number 1 Mercedes run by Zach Speed.
Okay, the safety car has peeled off. The lights are at the top of the screen. It's up to the race steward now if he's happy with the lineup as the cars approach the timing line. He will release the lights and let's go racing. It is race number 2, and look at that. Christian Engelhardt diving into the middle of that mix there, but not quite quick enough. He's going to be on the outside going through turn 1. Ooh. But he's going to... Oh, he got a little tap into the back there. He's going to end up P3. So it's made up 1 place, but right at the front is the 2 Corvettes together there. And also trying to make a move is the Zach Speed Mercedes-Benz. And oh my goodness me, the race-winning car from yesterday is out, Chris.
Oh, there was quite a lot of bumping and boring there. It was all with the Corvettes were diving up the inside into turn 1, then both ran wide, then everybody else delayed. But Martin Raginger out already in the Porsche by the looks of things. One of the Lamborghinis just struggling there and dropping back ever so slightly. The other one gets a lock up then and loses a place. Bentley's made a good start. Smashing through the marker boards is the Chubut BMW. There's an Audi pointing in the right direction. There's another one, which I think looks like the 24 KFZ Tyler car going through. That's Robin Frins going through the gravel trap. The safety car is coming out because there have been 5 or 6 incidents there. The Bentley's has picked up some damage, but made up lots of places as well, Guy Smith. There is the number 5. Norbert Seeler. Jaap van Lagen starting this car, isn't it, this time? Norbert Seeler started it yesterday. And that Lamborghini Huracan out. Also out 67, the Attempto Racing Lamborghini Huracan of Daniel Zampieri. And gravel trap strewn everywhere. Jaap van Lagen, very successful racer in Porsche Carrera Cup racing, out already. Lots of incidents there which triggered other incidents, weren't there? So the safety car comes straight out. But it was all very lively, even at turn 1.
My goodness.
There were cars diving up the inside, running wide. That's as they came back onto the line. That sort of made people hit their brakes, I think, as we see the 63 Grasser Racing Team Lamborghini Huracan, Wengelhardt and Inishen in as well. So that's the car that finished 2nd yesterday. So the car that finished 1st out, the car that finished 2nd in the pits. And there is the car we saw running through the gravel trap. Robin Frins, the former Formula Renault champion and last year's Blancpain champion, the Dutchman, coming in for a change of tyre, so perhaps has picked up a puncture.
Right, let's try and disseminate what happened right at the start. And that was where Engelhardt dived to the middle of the circuit there, but wasn't quite quick enough, was he? Ended up on the outside, but that would quickly become the inside, and then further back. was where the Porsche was in trouble, Chris.
And it was on the exit to turn 1. He got
out wide, across the grass, huge lump of turf.
Raggingill got squeezed. He had one car hit him on the left, another car hit him on the right, and that's it damaged the engine or the radiator. And I mean, out straight away, wasn't it? That car just stopped dead.
So see it from on board, looking backwards then.
That's Ragging's car, isn't it? Your Porsche, yeah, with the onboard. You heard the thud. And the car cuts out straight away.
So the Porsche is to the left there, and that's it. It's going nowhere, is it?
Yeah.
On board from the Christopher Mees Audi.
Oh. Like a stock car race, wasn't it, through the first 2 turns? Yeah, this will shake. Watch the 99 Porsche, the white car, getting squeezed as you can in the background. That's the number 5 Lamborghini, which ended up off in the wrong direction and not long after that. Carnage, wasn't it?
Tell you what, there were some heavy-duty hits there, wasn't there? Is that the Zampieri car?
Yeah. And at the front, Daniel Kravitz made a mega start, got from 3rd to 1st into the first corner, but then went really wide. And as he came back on the track, then all started to bunch up behind him. Just everybody with their elbows out, just knocking their way back through, or trying to regain a place, or trying to scramble ahead if others made mistakes.
Well, the start is under investigation, and from the replays that we've just seen there, that's no surprise.
Now, what about the number 1 Mercedes of Luca Ludwig? He has come from 11th. He's filtered his way through all of that carnage to get up to 6th place. So it's 69 from pole. It was the best place to be, wasn't it? Dominic Schrager away from all the trouble. He did lose the lead into turn 1, but only briefly. Got it back on the way out of the corner. As Daniel Kravitz struggled to slow the Corvette down. So it's the 69 Callaway competition Corvette ahead. There's another Corvette in dramas.
Sven Bart.
Yeah, that car had its woes yesterday.
Under investigation, Chris, is the number 29 car of Christopher Mees and Connor De Filippi, the Monoplast Audi, which we saw in the mix, didn't we, for all that shenanigans right at the very start.
So Kravitz is second, number 77. Corvette 1-2. There you can see them. In 3rd place is Christopher Mees, under investigation in the Land Motorsport Audi R8. 4th place, number 16, is the car which has come from 10th on the grid. Bortolotti, the Italian, in the Lamborghini Huracan. Look at a replay. There's the number 1 car that threaded its way through all the trouble there. Down the inside. Great reactions from Luca Ludwig to avoid Martin Ragginger's Porsche as it got stricken. On board with Martin now. He's about to be squeezed either side.
Well, to be fair, he was the recipient of several hits there, wasn't he?
Not helped by the fact he didn't make the world's best start, did he?
No. So as they all tear into turn 1, turn 1 really is a pinch point, and when you've got 34 cars going through.
Everywhere you look, somebody's making contact with somebody else, or bits of very expensive cars flying up in the air. Guy Smith in the Bentley's come from 16th up to 9th place. He's another one that's gained a lot of ground. And that was the 24 Audi R8 of Robin Fritz going through the gravel trap, I think. Another Lamborghini off, all on its own accord here. So something could have been broken on the car before, or some damage to the tyre or something. But
that's the
Christian Engelhardt,
the Engelhardt car making it to the pit lane. I think you're right. I think there was something broken on that following the first lap skirmishes, of which there were a number, and thanks to the team for giving us those replays so quickly. So under investigation then the car of Christopher Mees and Connor De Filippi, the Monoplast by Land Motorsport Audi R8 LMS, which is a bit battle weary at the front, to be honest, doesn't it, that car? And there you can see the right-hand side where the bodywork is damaged there. Car seems to be okay, to be fair, but safety car is going to come in this lap, as you can see on screen. So we're on board with Christopher Mees now as he's weaving the car from side to side to try and keep some temperature into those tyres before we get the race resumed again.
Christopher Mees has come quite a long way since he started his car racing career in, well, first of all, in Toyota Yaris Cup, then in Ford Fiestas. Far cry from what he's racing these days with that Audi R8. Winner last year at the Nürburgring 24-hour race. Has been a GT3 European champion in the past as well. Blancpain Endurance Series champion a few years ago. He's won the Bathurst 12 hours, so he's an ultra-competitive endurance racer, GT racer, Christopher Mees, and he's there in third place in car number 29, having gained a couple of places. Championship leader alongside his teammate Conor De Philippe, who they did well yesterday from 16th on the grid to get into the points to get up to 6th position. Helped by one or two that dropped out, admittedly, but it was enough to keep them in the points lead.
So, as they round the final turn and get back out on the straight then, as you say, threading his way through the damage, running in P6's Luca Ludwig will be glancing this perhaps as a potential opportunity to get further up the order. As into turn one they go, and an immediate dive up the inside there from the Lamborghini Huracan. That was done, and done really well.
Good move from Mirko Bortolotti. Yeah, made the most of that. Split themselves into two packs almost, haven't they? The lead group and then another group, everybody else fighting for sort of 9th, 10th positions, making their way back onto the oval. Then they'll turn left through turn 6, turn back off the oval. So here they come out of essentially the exit to turn 1 of the oval, and then to turn off and back to the infield now through this sweeping hairpin. Downhill run into the apex of the corner as well. So the driver that led them away still leads, Dominic Schwager, in the number 69 Callaway Competition Corvette.
So Schwager from Karwitz. There is Bortolotti then, running in P3. And it's Mees. There is our race leader, Dominic Schwager. Cars all come through. This will replay then, and that the move then by Mirko Bortolotti then up the inside. And here you can very, very easily make that overtake, but carry too much speed and end up running wide and losing out on the momentum. But that he did absolutely perfectly. And talk about shut the door on Christopher Mees, he certainly did that, and well, got the overtake done and dusted. And now Mees is under pressure from Cairoli behind him, and behind Cairoli is
Bentley trying to gain another place here. Guy Smith around the outside of the number 20 BMW he goes. That Schubert BMW went well initially yesterday, didn't it? Jesse Cron, the Finnish driver, was running in 4th place, but then the car seemed to struggle with a problem in the second half of the race, gradually went backwards, and then had a visit to the pits. But the Bentley of Guy Smith absolutely flying here. They never really featured yesterday at a lowly grid position. By the time Guy got into the car, they were a long, long way back, but the Bentley absolutely flying at this early stage of the race.
Schwager and Karwitz just beginning to shake off Bortolotti now. We're on board with Daniel Karwitz then. Absolutely fantastic to be on board, and he really is putting the pressure on Dominic Schwager now. So the Callaway competition car of Daniel Karwitz, there is the instrument binnacle that we put onto the graphics for you, so you can see the gear, the revs and the speed as well as they run around this final turn now and head down the start-finish straight. Just watch the top speed before the braking, 240 kilometers per hour. 249, 250, just touch before heavy braking into turn number 1.
5-second penalty, I'm afraid, for Claudia Hergen for inaccurate grid position, so that'll be 5 seconds added on to their pit stop time when they come in for the mandatory stop. These two Corvettes over the bumps, over the rises, getting so close to the wall. Comes back onto the oval here, and then turning into the left-hander at turn 6. Daniel Karwitz, the man behind him, is the most winning driver in the ADAC GT Masters Championship. 12 wins. We've got a Mercedes pointed, I'm afraid, in the wrong direction. That had a bump a little while ago. It's the Callaway competition.
That's the Ruggieville car, isn't it? And Nikolai Sylvestre
gets also going again, yeah.
Had a Bentley down the pit lane, I think.
What happened to the Merc? Got a nerf, yeah. Got helped into that by the Oust Motorsport number 44 machine of Marco Bononomi, the Audi R8.
So we've had a Bentley retirement, because I can see the back end of the car in the garage over there. Didn't quite see it in time.
Might be Guy Smith, because he's tumbled down the order. We saw him making lots of ground up in the first portion of the race, but he's not on the top 20 of the timing screen anymore, so it could be the number 8 Bentley. In the meantime,
Schwager continues to hold off the ravagers of Daniel Karvitz. As Chris has said, the most winningest driver in ADAC GT Masters, currently running in P2. Gets very, very busy down there in turn 1. And this is a replay of the start, isn't it?
Porsche right out on the grass there. And yeah, it was Sir Martin Ragging. It went right off the road. He was,
yeah.
Was it? No, it wasn't actually. It was the other Porsche, wasn't it, going around the outside? It wasn't the Herberth car. Fantastic off-the-line start from Karvitz. Couldn't quite make it stick into the first corner.
Marco Bononomi is under investigation now. He, of course, teams up with Michaela Arlen Kotelinski in the number 44 car, the Audi R8 LMS. In the meantime, Dominic Schwager continues to lead from Daniel Karvitz as going out onto the gravel there, the Markus Winkelhock and Marcus Pommer car. Big save there from running out onto the gravel, and doing level best to keep Karvitz at bay, and doing a good job of that at the moment is Dominic Schwager. There was 3 tenths between them when they last crossed the timing line. They're heading towards it now. I suspect the gap is not going to be very, very different. 3.73 it is. Just under 4 tenths between the top 2 as the rest of the cars come through. Schwager, Karvitz, Bortolotti, Mies, then it's Cairoli, Ludwig, occupying the top 6 places. If you look around the track, unfortunately, there are bits of bodywork strewn that have come off from the earlier ravages of the race. Ludwig is not able really to get onto that pack of 5, is he? It's,
struggled a little bit for pace this week, yes, the champions, haven't they, in the qualifying sessions. They couldn't really come through yesterday in the race. They got stuck in about 14th place. Then had a bit of a coming together, then had a retirement not long after that. The 2 Corvettes still nose to tail for the lead of the race. Dominic Schwager, number 69, just ahead of Daniel Karvitz, number 77. There are the reigning champions. Luca Ludwig was the second most winning driver and in the championship, and his teammate Sebastian Asch also very quick. It's a strong pairing, that, a very strong lineup. But he is certainly being chased around by the Frederick Verlash, the number 28 Audi, which is breathing down his neck here, giving him all sorts of problems. And then, as you say, not far behind, Marcus Winkelhock in the orange and black Audi, getting in the mix as well.
Well, the Marco Bononomi car has been given a drive-through penalty for pushing another car, so...
that was the AMG Zack Speed Mercedes, the 21 car, wasn't it, which got sent around. So I think the Porsche that we saw running wide and then just about rejoining and keeping in that lead group at the first corner was Cairoli, wasn't it? Who's going well here.
Yep.
In 5th place, car number 17. And becoming a Porsche expert. He was the Italian Porsche Carrera Cup champion a couple of years ago and raced in the German Carrera Cup and the Super Cup last year, and is already a race winner in the Super Cup this year and at the front of the field in that championship.
Christopher Mies running in P4. You'll recall we mentioned he's under investigation. Well, there's going to be no further action taken, so he's safe where he is for the moment. And it's as they were then with Dominic Schwager and Daniel Karvitz, P1, P2, Bortolotti, and then Christopher Mies before it's Matteo Cairoli and Luca Ludwig rounding out the top 6 at the moment. Here comes the drive-through penalty car then, car number 44, running in P18 at the moment for Marco Bononomi and Michaela Arlen Kotelinski.
Daniel Abbott's going quite well in the other Bentley, isn't he? He's started 30th on the grid, and the number 7 car's up to 15th now. So he's gone halfway up the field. I know a few of them, it was a bit like the parting of the ways, a few of them off with trouble, but he's got through it all and going quite well. As we look at the back of the race leading car here, on board with Daniel Karlvitz, who's just about as close as you can be, Dave, here, following the leader through the twisty sections and back out on for the exit to turn 5. Onto the oval they go. The gap grows as they come out of the corners, but under braking, Karlvitz just having the advantage here.
Yeah, very little between the two of them, running in P1 and P2. The Dominic Schwager car and that of Daniel Karlvitz as well. Both, of course, run by the Callaway competition team, but we're on board now with Christopher Mies, who sets the fastest lap, a 1:22.569. 1:22.569 for Christopher Mies, who's currently running P4, and he's got the Mirko Bortolotti Lamborghini Huracan ahead of him, and he's getting ever closer to that car now on board this Audi, as you can see. Windscreen full of the all-green Lambo ahead. But this pack of 4, really, and indeed with Cairoli behind Christopher Mies, they've kind of broken away, haven't they, from the rest of them?
Yeah, absolutely, and new fastest lap last time around, 1:22.5 for Christopher Mies, who's in the back of that train in 4th place, under braking into turn 1. One Corvette closes up to another. Daniel Karlvitz in the Valvoline blue and white backed machine, that's there in 2nd place. It's just got, as you say, a couple of lengths advantage over Roberts in the green Lamborghini Huracan in 3rd place, who in turn has got Christopher Mies in the Audi breathing down his neck. So Daniel Karlvitz, I expect him to stay out longer this time, because that was, as I say, one of the first leaders to pit yesterday, but Daniel is the gold level driver in that car. His teammate Jules Guénon is rated as a silver driver, so probably the longest stint will come first, as we see the Elio Earhart car, another ex-Porsche Carrera Cup racer, a Turkish driver, limping back here to the pits, I'm afraid, the number 6 Lamborghini Huracan.
So back on board with Christopher Mies then, who is running in P4. These brilliant on-board shots with the 3 cars ahead. Heavy braking through this infield section. Then left-hander for absolutely nailing it, and back out onto the oval. And the start-finish straight as they head towards it now. And the 2 Corvettes are in a class of their own, aren't they, with Dominic Schwager and Daniel Karlvitz, P1 and P2. 4.5 minutes away from the pit window opening. These Corvettes really have just broken away a little bit from the Lamborghini, and Christopher Mies certainly piling the pressure on that car now from P4. Just took a sneaky look up the inside there. Heavy braking now, very nearly into the back of it.
The Lambo hopping around as well, can't you? There's so much grip out there now with all the heat we've had this weekend. It's 32.5 degrees. We've even gone up 2 degrees since the start of the race here. The track temperature is much hotter at 42 degrees. He's having a little glance down the inside just to show his nose on the run into the left-hander at turn number 8. Stays put where he is, but I think he can sense here, Dave, that the 2 leaders are getting away, and he's itching to get past that green Lamborghini.
Yes, because he knows they're getting away, and he wants to be in with a fighting chance of being able to compete with them. At the moment, the cork in the bottle is this Lambo, isn't it? But, you know, the difference between them is just he cannot find a way past, and he's had various glances, hasn't he? He lines him up once again now, but again, don't think he's close enough to be able to dive to the inside for turn number 1. Just takes a glance at it, but certainly not close enough. And whilst this is all going on, Matteo Cairoli is getting ever closer in P5 to this car, Christopher Mies.
So there are the top 2. Last time around, 122.7, 123.3s for these 2. So the gap grew by more than half a second. Starting to get a little bit ragged now for Mirko Bortolotti, the Italian driver in the green Lamborghini Huracan, because he's got half an eye on the mirrors here as Christopher Mies starts to push on. Coming through to serve its drive-through penalty is the ADAC Motorsport Audi, the black and pink car of Marco Bononomi. Michaela Arling-Kozelinski, the lady Swedish driver, who started her international career in Sirocco R Cup racing is the second driver in that car. So Christopher Mees being patient here, but I think the patience is starting to run out. The championship leader will be thinking about points as well, but he'll also be aware of the fact that their nearest rivals in the championship are Karlovitz and Gunon, and they are 2 positions ahead. And if it stays like this, we'll close the gap further still at the top of the table.
I tend to agree with you that Bortolotti is just looking a little bit ragged now. The pressure is beginning to perhaps get to the Italian. Again, I would say now at the entrance to the start-finish straight that probably Mees is not close enough once again to have a go into turn 1, which is one of the favourite places for trying to put an overtake move on, and sure enough just has to stay behind the Lamborghini for now. Dominic Schwager and Daniel Karlovitz then out a little bit on their own. A couple of seconds advantage over Bortolotti, who of course is having to focus on defending from the Audi of Christopher Mees as they turn in back to the infield section. Mees with a tighter line through there, but not quite close enough, but he's as close as he's ever been to this Lamborghini now. It's very, very difficult to find a way past around this infield section of the Lausitzring circuit, though, as Christopher Mees continues to put the pressure on. That Mirko Bortolotti car, again, not close enough to dive up to the inside into the next turn. We have seen people try and overtake there. Of course, it puts you the wrong line for the next turn. Gap just 2/10 of, you can see on screen as Christopher Mees really, really hammers the brakes now. Takes the rumble strips and curve, and Bortolotti then back out onto the oval and the final turn before the start-finish straight once again. And this time Mees taking a look, and also taking a little bit of a sneaky look. There was Daniel Karlovitz from P2 on Dominic Schwager. The 2 cars run by the same Callaway competition team, just 20 seconds away from the pit window opening. These 2 perhaps have not broken away quite as I imagined, and it's a credit to Bortolotti really, who's having to defend very, very hard, but their pace is relatively similar to the 2 ahead of them.
Yeah, at times they match them. Now, what's this? A replay of yet more contact, yet more cars facing in the wrong direction. This time off worst is the Yakko Racing Audi. Again, it's Rahel Frey in strife as she was yesterday, and then also going round the number 3, but ADAC Motorsport Lamborghini Huracan of Kujala, the Finnish driver, and Pavlovic, the Serbian driver. Back aboard with Christopher Mees, Colin De Filippi, the Porsche American racer, will take over. Lab Motorsport, the team that run the car, and they are the team leaders, ahead of Team Zaxpeed in the team championship. Haven't won a race yet, but they've had they opened the season with 3 straight second-place finishes. They've been in the top 10 in the other 2 races, and that consistency puts them at the top of the table.
So P1, P2 heading towards the timing line now, as they were Dominic Schwager and Daniel Karlovitz. Then it is Mirko Bortolotti and Christopher Mees, Matteo Cairoli and Luca Ludwig also having stayed out. In fact, the top 7 have stayed out. Car number 36 is under investigation. Well, we saw that incident just a few moments ago with the Big FM Porsche turning the car around. At the car of Zanella and Marvin Dienst.
Number 7 Bentley of Daniel Abt comes into the pits. The number 20 Schubert Motorsports BMW of Luis Delatraz into the pits as well. So starting to come in now, but in terms of the drivers up front, Dave, you look at the drivers that are in the cars now and say they're probably generally the faster drivers, so you want to keep them out as long as you can.
Yes, the plan is to run the as long a stint as possible. Who's that around?
It's the 66 Emil Lindholm car, which was helped into it. The number 19 Schubert BMW of Claudia Hurtgen, which is already going to get a 5-second penalty added to the pit stop time for being out of position at the start. And just a glancing blow, but it was enough to send the car into a spin. Into the pits now, the green Lamborghini of Nicholas Pola, racing in Formula 3 a couple of years ago. And the lead groups all staying out for the time being. Just 0.3 of a second between the top 2 as they cross the line. and they are about 2.5 seconds clear of the number 16 Lamborghini of Mirko Bortolotti, who's still in third place, just ahead of the number 29 Audi R8 driven by Christopher Mies.
So of course these cars feed out now, and see the Ludwig Mercedes, and that was on the Cairoli Porsche. Now the Porsche were almost getting pushed out there by the returning cars, and Ludwig was able to take advantage of that, so the Mercedes-Benz has moved up a place. We're on board with Daniel Karwitz then, who's continuing to chase down the Dominik Schwager machine, but both the cars from Callaway Competition, just in the back of the picture you can see how lively the Luca Ludwig Mercedes-Benz is, as we go for a almost a change on the lead, as Daniel Karwitz now is as close to Dominik Schwager as he has been. He got right alongside through the infield section here. Both cars staying out, they've not come into the pit lane, so around the final turn and down the start-finish straight now, Daniel Karwitz will try and line up Dominik Schwager to make a move going into turn number 1. Look at this, Schwager puts the car right in the middle of the track to deny Karwitz any opportunity of doing that as they turn in.
Front runners into the pits. Christopher Mies, number 29 in the Audi, from 4th place. From 5th place, number 1, Luca Ludwig coming in, the champion of last year. And Sebastian Asch sprints to the car now and helps his teammate to get out. So into the pits they are for this minimum pit stop time that they all have to serve. It's generally the same. It depends occasionally on the circuit, but generally it runs at around about 65 seconds is the usual time. Just a change of the tyre pressures. No fuel goes in, no tyre changes. It's just a driver change over here.
Now, what's really interesting is Schwager and Karwitz have really been battling. What that's done is allowed Bortolotti to get ever closer. Connor Di Filippi in the car now, taking over from Christopher Mies, you can see on screen, and roars the Audi back out into the hot lane of the pit lane.
Still in front of the Mercedes as well, which has just got going.
See, these two start fighting, and all of a sudden Lambo is on terms with them.
Yeah.
And there is Schwager then, denying Karwitz at the moment, but Karwitz has certainly tried. It's almost been since the pit window opened. That's when Karwitz has really turned the wick up and tried much harder to try and find a way past Dominik Schwager. Don't think he's going to be close enough to line something up for turn number 1 now. No, I don't think so. There's a car's length between them, but under braking it reduces to absolutely nothing. And through turn 1 they go.
Be interesting if Karwitz could get a lap or two clear before he has to come in.
Yes.
What he would do, because I'm sure he'd get his head down, and you can get half a second, it will make the difference. So 15 car Marcus Winkelhocker's come in from what was 8th place, and he will hand the Phoenix Racing Audi across now to Marcus Pommer, former German F3 champion, racing in the FIA European Formula 3 Championship last year, with many years single-seater experience behind him. But still a young driver, Marcus Pommer, the German. In 2 comes the number 21 Zakspeed Mercedes for its stop.
So here is the 1, 2, 3 then. Bortolotti choosing to stay out as well. Is Schwager going to come in this time?
Car number 19 will be referred to the stewards. That's the Claudia Hurtgen car, which we saw just having a little nick.
So, neither of the top, none of the top 3 in, as once again Karwitz completes another lap in P2, being denied by our race leader Dominik Schwager. But this time Karwitz is a little bit closer to Schwager, but not close enough.
He's sick of the size of the rear wing of that Corvette, isn't he? But Schwager has driven really well here, despite relentless pressure. He hasn't conceded an inch yet. And into the pits, another front runner. This is from 6th place, number 17, or 6 before the pit stop started to happen. And that's the Team 75 Bernhard car. Matteo Caroli is going to hand over to David Jahn. Porsche on the grass, which luckily is bone dry, but still pretty bumpy and smoke screen now. Can you see where you're going as you get back on track? So another front runner in, gets going again, lays the rub down. Be careful to adhere to the pit lane speed limit though. Lamborghini's caught them up, hasn't
Absolutely, and called this just a few moments ago, that as these two are fighting, that has allowed Bortolotti to really get on terms with them, and Karvitz will be very, very well aware of that. So, Dominic Schwager comes in. Karvitz then is released effectively, isn't he? So in comes Dominic Schwager in what was the race-leading car. Is that Bortolotti in as well?
Yeah, second and third come in, so a race between the pit crews here.
Now, every lap from Schwager needs to be a quali lap now, doesn't it?
Yeah, let's see what he can do. So his best lap at Karvitz is 1:22.707, which is the fastest lap of the race, only by 0.5 of a second, but it's the fastest lap of the race. But now he needs to get his head down for a couple of laps and just blitz it. Got still just under 2 minutes before the pit window closes, and he'll drag it out as long as he possibly can.
So it's Patrick Assenheimer into that number 69 car now, and into the number 16 Grasser Racing Team Lamborghini Huracan. It will be Lucas Stoltz, and the Lamborghini gets past the
first, yeah,
Corvette in the pit lane.
Keeping an eye on where the Sebastian Ash #1 Mercedes is as well, because that was the car that was next in the queue before the pit stops happened.
Well, we're on board with Conor De Filippi, who's on the start-finish straight now. You can see it as we've split this screen here. So it is the Lamborghini that is has vaulted the Corvette in the pit lane. So there's the Corvette, there is the Lamborghini, and there is Conor De Filippi in the Audi. So then we were saying right at the start of the programme that with the pit stops as part of this, as in now comes Daniel Karvitz. Now this will be the crucial one.
Absolutely right. I'm just looking at the monitor. We have a tracking device, and yeah, the 29 car, which was driven by Christopher Mees in the first stint, that's tucked in just behind the 69 Callaway competition Dominic Schwager car, so that's still very much in the mix. So we got one off. That's in the gravel trap for the Nissan. Yeah, the MRS GT Racing car, number 22, which is Baz Schotters, as you say, the Dutch driver. So, car in the pits, it'll feel like forever down there, won't it, for the race-leading car, and or formerly the race-leading car briefly. They were nose to tail, the top three really, so it's going to be mighty, mighty tight when this car comes back out of the pits. Jules
Gounon then, we split the screen once again so that you can see all the action as the number 77 car returns into the race down the pit lane, pit speed limiter on. This is going to be very, very close.
Just going to do it, I think.
Yeah, bear in mind the Lambo is up to race speed. Jules Gounon gives it absolutely everything he possibly can.
Into turn 4, he's about 4 lengths clear. So that worked well. Daniel Karvitz's mega lap just before the pit stops has made the difference, hasn't it? But the Lamborghini, effectively, once everybody else makes their pit stops, that's going to be up to second place now, ahead of splitting the Corvettes.
So there is the number 16 Lamborghini then, driven by Lucas Stoltz now, that, as Chris has rightly said, has split the two Callaway competition Corvettes. And we have a safety car for that stricken car that we see right of screen now, the number 22 Baz Schotters, Steve Feiger, MRS GT Racing.
Helped off the road, got back on, then what? So we're going to go wrong shortly after that. There we go. Losing the back end, spinning around with a 180.
And the car beached there with the rear wheel spinning, not going anywhere. And
Steve Feiger, by the looks of it, who's had their pit stop, haven't they? Just in time comes the safety car. In fact, not in time. It's not picked up the leader, has it?
No, it hasn't.
It's picked up the second place Lamborghini. So presumably the radio call from the officials will go to the team, tell your man to slow down and let the safety car past, tuck in behind him. Or he's doing the opposite. In fact, he's letting everybody through, isn't he? He's letting everybody through, then he's going to pick up the race leader next lap round. Well, this brings everybody back into the equation. The top 5 are all within a couple of seconds of each other anyway. and Sebastian Ash might be one to watch in the Mercedes, the #1 car. Yeah, safety car just by a second or so missed up picking up the Corvette. So the two options were tell him to slow down and let the safety car pass, or safety car lets everybody pass and picks them up next time around. But you said when we got here, Dave, that pit lane exit brings you right out into the mix, doesn't it? And as a driver on track, you're not particularly, I mean, you're trying to get through that twisty S-bend section there, you're carrying a lot of speed, and a car suddenly appears coming out of the pits. It can be a bit of a nightmare.
So Jules Gounon then is the driver of the number 77 car. Now there is the safety car awaiting to pick that car up. Ronald Dobmeyer at the helm of that car. Did his level best to get it out, and jolly nearly did it, didn't he? But not quite, as Chris alongside me said, just about a second too late. So Jules Gounon, Lucas Stoltz, Patrick Assenheimer, the 1, 2, 3 with Conor De Filippi P4 and Sebastian Ash in the Mercedes P5. So the safety car waiting to pick up the Jules Gounon Corvette. Well, the first part of this race has gone, to be honest. We've only got 21 minutes left. It's been all action, hasn't it? That's for sure. So their safety car does pick them up, and of course what this will do, bunch everyone together.
Yeah, not that they were very far apart anyway in terms of the top 5, but yeah, it's going to get others back into the mix as well. Who have we got? Well, it's going to get that Porsche back into the mix, isn't it? The number 17 car, David Yarn, is in 6th place. 7th place, we've got number 34, the Car Collection Motorsports entry. That's another of the Audi R8s, Isaac Tutumalo Lopez, the Spanish driver, who's alongside the 2014 champion Kelvin van der Linde, the South African, this weekend. Super slow-mos here of the cars. These fantastic array of cars. You have got V6s, V8s, you've got Bentleys. Audis have taken the most wins, 24 to 23 Corvette victories in the ADAC GT Masters Championship, which in its current guise was relaunched back in 2007.
Some of the cars looking very battle-worn as the Edward Sandstrom and Daniel Dobic Case Styler 24 liveried Audi that you could see there. And not everyone managing to keep it onto the tarmac at all times.
There's been a few of those waving today, hasn't there?
Yes. And there is Kelvin van der Linde.
So the car's out the gravel trap now at turn 8, and it shouldn't be too long before we get back underway. Another car under investigation is the number 11 Lamborghini of Nicholas Pola and Gerhard Strasser, the Austrian driver, so that's been looked at as well.
Safety car is going to come in this lap as the packed grandstands enjoy this ADAC GT Masters race.
Absolutely swamped today, isn't it? It was busy yesterday, but goodness me, it's, I think they had 20,000 plus yesterday, didn't they? And I think it's a lot bigger today as well in terms of the crowd here.
Lights out in the safety car then. And Jules Gounon then, who will try and stack them all up now. Big queue of fantastic cars as the safety car returns. And the race will resume for the final 18 and 3/4 minutes of this ADAC GT Masters race. And good job done there at the restart, that's for sure, from the Corvette. Look at that. Absolutely left the Lambo. And now Lucas Stoltz is really going to come under pressure going into turn 1 as Corvette tries to wrestle that place back that was lost to him earlier. As they head into turn 1, surely this is job done for Patrick Assenheimer. So Assenheimer then back into P2, the Lamborghini relegated now to P3, and Conor De Filippi is trying to buy into this as well. Through the infield section they go before rejoining the oval now and glancing the concrete wall. Look how close they get as they head towards turn number 6 and turn back in again. And once again, Conor De Filippi having a look, but Conor De Filippi very aware of the fact that he's got that Mercedes-Benz right behind him.
The Abt Bentley of Andres Weishaupt going slowly, a shot of that, but look how close it is. Great move, wasn't it, to get second place back there from Patrick Assenheimer, who drove well in the first stint yesterday. He was defending yesterday a lot of the time. Now he's on the attack. Sebastian Ash just having a look down the inside in the number 1 Zach Speed Mercedes, which runs in 5th place. It's like that Corvette's just had a moment, and now damage to the front right corner of the number 11 Lamborghini Huracan. That's the Grasser Racing Team entry. Nicholas Pola behind the wheel at the moment, and Colin De Filippi trying to go the inside here on the run onto the oval to try and gain a place. The Porsche driver up against the Lamborghini. The Lamborghini's got plenty of grunt in a straight line though. Gets the traction out of the corner, gets back onto the oval with the length clear, but the braking zone coming up could provide another opportunity here for the Porsche driver, who might in turn coming under attack himself. The Audi driver coming under attack, the Porsche driver coming under attack by the Mercedes. The Mercedes blocking the inside line there and staying in position in 4th place. So Sebastian Ash really getting into the fight now, getting stuck in, and well, Conor De Filippi trying to gain a place. In the end he loses one going into turn 1, down to 5th place then, back where he started. And look at the lead that all of this infighting has allowed the number 77 Callaway competition car of Jules Gounon to grow already.
Absolutely, Gounon is just up the road, isn't he? We're looking back at the Mercedes-Benz then. There, the number 29 Audi car of Christopher Mies and Conor De Filippi, and really extravagant move on the final turn, wasn't it? Turn number 12 to try and make a move which didn't pay off, and there a very, very damaged Lamborghini Huracan. So Jules Gounon then up the road. Patrick Assenheimer also able to take advantage of the fact that Lucas Stolz and Conor De Filippi were battling and fighting together, Chris.
Yeah, he, I think, watched that from a distance, didn't he? And as they came onto the oval, he just crept up towards them, lined himself up for the move, and down the inside went Sebastian Ash into the first turn. It's a replay of the restart then. This was the move for... pulled out of the slipstream. Great restart that. As soon as they crossed the start-finish line, had to be careful not to go too deep into the corner, but he was able to slow the car down in time and got the Corvette back up ahead of the Lamborghini and into 2nd place. This was Conor De Filippi then, who'd gone on the attack of the Lamborghini, and then into the next corner, turn 1, came under attack from the Mercedes.
Now, as you say, the Lamborghini had got the grunt, hadn't it, up the straight, and another loser, of course, was David Yarn, wasn't it, that lost out to that Mercedes-Benz right on that restart from the safety car period.
So it's Corvettes 1 and 2, Gounon and Assenheimer. 3rd place, number 16, is now Lucas Stolz, the German driver. He's behind the wheel of the Lamborghini Huracan, the bright green machine. Conor De Filippi in the Audi, car number 29 in 4th place, trying to attack that Lamborghini, and almost then losing a place to Sebastian Ash. As we see the Bentley being spun around and then nerfed. That was why the number 11 Huracan had damage to the front end and has had to come into the pits. It's just in the wrong place there. Tried to turn around the corner and found a big Bentley Continental in the way. And that was the result of it.
Right, in the meantime, drive-through penalty for car number 33. That's the Frackenhout Haas Car Collection Audi R8 LMS. That gets a drive-through penalty. Conor De Filippi now having to think about defending from Sebastian Ash, isn't he, rather than attacking the Lambo ahead of him. And we're on board with Conor De Filippi now, looking back at that Mercedes-Benz. What a brutal-looking car that is. On board with Conor De Filippi now, who's having to use the rear view mirror really rather more than the windscreen at the moment, as he's conscious of the fact that that Zach Speed BKK Mobil Oil Mercedes-Benz wants to try and find a way past the Audi, and therefore able to breathe a slight sigh of relief as Lucas Stolz ahead. And of course that's all playing into the hands of Jules Gounon and Patrick Assenheimer, isn't it? As once again Conor De Filippi, well, goes from defence back to attack mode then, and we've got this fantastic split screen in the cockpit with Conor De Filippi. Well, and that's how close the Mercedes-Benz is getting to the back of the Audi. This is absolutely fantastic racing to enjoy. ADAC GT Masters race number 2. And this battle that's going on for P3, 4 and 5 is absolutely fascinating. So the grunt of the Lamborghini. And now the Mercedes-Benz just glances to the inside, but there's not enough doing there to find its way into P4 and get past the Audi ahead this time around.
Sebastian Ash is thinking about getting involved as well in the Mercedes. He's just behind that Audi. There he is, the #1 car, son of Roland Ash, famous, very successful racing driver. And kissing the wall again as they come back onto the oval. There is one of the Audis that has come to a halt as well, stalled the engine, and the dust will settle. And that could see the 24 or the 25 machine, isn't it? The orange and white car, and it's stuck. It may have got helped along the way by the Bentley 25 it is, of the two, which is the Sandstrom Dobbage car. Bit of wheel banging there as well. That's number 15 car of Marcus Palmer, which is in 11th place. And then that happened just behind. Kept his foot in, tried to keep the rear wheel spinning to get it out of the spin, but he couldn't quite catch it. He's got it going again now, though, and rejoins the action.
No surprise, the Bentley that was involved in that, number 7, is under investigation. And now look at this, the Mercedes is under pressure from the Porsche behind.
Trying to go around the outside here, that's brave.
Yeah.
Oh, a bit of contact there. Ash makes the Merc wide. The Porsche runs out of road, then he gets into a slide. Spin! Spin! Around it goes Ash. And out of 5th place. Still going backwards on the grass. And that was all as a result of the defensive driving into turn 1. I think put him offline through turn 2. And the back end snapped around. We're going to rejoin out of the top 10, I'm afraid, now. So it's been a weekend to forget for the reigning champions. See, he's defending into turn 1. There's contact. I wonder if he picked up a puncture, right rear. Got a bit of a clout, didn't it, the right rear on the Mercedes. Then it gets on the gas, and there's no grip whatsoever all of a sudden.
Here comes the clunk between the two of them.
It was a fair hit, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a fair hit, as you say. I reckon you can just see, I think that has caused damage to that. He couldn't control that, could he?
Yeah, could have damaged the tracking. I think the tyre's still up. And there's the reaction of his teammate, Luca Ludwig, screaming, no, not after all of this. Not after we've got ourselves into the fight from 11th on the grid.
Not being funny, Chris. There's only 10 minutes left of this race. Where's it gone?
It's been brilliant, hasn't it? Best race of the weekend. And 2.7 seconds clear now for Jules Gounon. Done a tremendous job, hasn't he, since taking over from Daniel Karlvitz. Grown that lead. Karlvitz and the team doing great to get them into first place during that pit window. Assenheimer, number 69, in second. Third, a Lamborghini of number 16, Lucas Stoltz. And another car which has gone really well from 19th on the grid is the Lamborghini Huracan of Benaldi Motorsport. That's Patrick Kujala, the Finnish driver. Milos Pavlovic, the Serbian driver, 19th on the grid. The number 3 car up to 6th place now as they take a look at the Mercedes back in the pits.
Yeah, that's not looking good, is it?
No points this weekend for the team that arrived here second in the championship standings.
Oh, look at that. Really is broken, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that will be a retirement for that car, sadly. However, Jules Gounon and Patrick Assenheimer. And there is Luca Ludwig then. Walks away knowing that they're not going to haul anything out of this weekend.
By the way, Dave, 2 leaders here.
Yes.
2 drivers, Gounon and Karlvitz, number 77, on for 25 points.
Yeah.
Championship leaders are 4th. That would give them 12 points, so 13 points the difference. They're 13 points behind at the start of the race, so they're going to be dead level for the championship lead after this, if it stays like it is.
Fantastic. There's a story being written. Couldn't be better, could it? So there is our race leader in the number 77 Corvette, Jules Gounon from Callaway Competitions. We see a retirement for the Robin Frins, Florian Stoll Audi R8 LMS. 7 3/4 minutes of the race left to run. Corvette P1, P2 before we find the Lamborghini of Lucas Stoltz that's running in P3, and the light flashing number 7 Christian's Bentley Continental GT3, which is running P11.
Just out of the points, so not much point staying there. Got to try and get through if you can.
It's the Spengler car ahead, isn't it? Oh, a mistake there.
It's just twitched under power, isn't it?
And that's enough, isn't it? I guess that's why it proves sometimes to keep that pressure on and
go on accelerator, and the tyres couldn't cope with it, could they? Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's hard enough to get through here, so all you can do is keep piling on the pressure and hope it just takes their eye off the ball for a split second, or makes them, just hit the accelerator a bit earlier, a bit harder than they would normally do. And that's what happened, I think. On for their first win of the season then, and to move into the joint championship leads, Jürgen On, the French driver, Daniel Karlwitz, who did the first stint, the German driver. The Corvettes are 1 and 2 here. The Lamborghini Huracan in third place is 6 seconds down on the race lead now, lapping similar pace but not able to close the gap.
However, there was a drive-through penalty for car number 16. Car number 16 running in P3 at the moment. So Lamborghini picking up a drive-through penalty.
Violation of Article 39.2. Pit stops, do we think?
Yeah. So there, from third place, in front of this packed grandstand here, it's going to be a drive-through penalty for car number 16 then. And that will elevate Connor De Filippi and Christopher Mies into a podium place. So the Lamborghini Huracan there, car number 16, the GRT Grasser Racing Team GT3 Lamborghini Huracan going to have to serve that drive-through penalty. And it's the Audi just behind that's going to, of course, benefit the most by being elevated to that final podium place. Well, that seems really tough on Lucas Stoltz and Bortolotti. Worked jolly hard with that Lamborghini throughout the course of this race, which has 5 minutes left to run. To be fair, Connor De Filippi at times right on the back of that, but that's certainly not the case now. And of course, there would be absolutely no point trying to fight now, knowing that the car has got to go in for a drive-through penalty, and Connor De Filippi and Christopher Mies going to be the beneficiaries of that. Gudon and Assenheimer way up the road, P1 and P2, in fact right in shot now. There goes the race leader into turn 1, there's P2, and there is the on track P3 car, but with this drive-through penalty. Now as the car is released, now that's where it made up a place, isn't it? Now I wonder whether it didn't serve the time, or whether that's actually, look, it's slowing down and blocking, and
to make sure it hits the minimum pit stop time, which is something that they keep an eye on. Otherwise you get cars sort of crawling down the pits, which can be dangerous.
So that is the reason for the drive-through penalty. Well, in fairness, that's the first time that we've seen that second part of them returning out to the onto the track from the pit lane. So well done to the stewards for being on that. Here is the Audi of Connor De Filippi and Christopher Mies, the Motorplast Spyland Motorsport car. As I say, it's looked a bit battle-worn at the front, but it continues to go pretty well, and it will be going a place higher when this drive-through penalty is served. Out back onto the oval, heading towards the timing line, and it's going to be just about 3 minutes left to run in this race, plus 1 lap, of course, for this ADAC GT Masters Race 2 here at the Lausitzring.
So instead of picking up 4th place and 12 points, the championship leaders are going to pick up 3rd place and 15 points. That'll be enough just to keep them in the championship lead by 3 points. Eric Bentley helping along and giving the hurry up to the Audi. is the number 7 machine, driven at the moment by Christa Jons, the German driver. He's got that car up into the points now, by hook or by crook. Bentley's bullying the Audis here, taking bits off them, making it a lighter car. Number 15 ahead of him. In 9th place is Marcus Pommer, but the German driver, the young German driver, Marcus Pommer, won't move out of the way for his compatriot quite so easily. There's the gap from first to second, then it's just shy of 3 seconds. There is the Lamborghini Huracan in 3rd for now, but it's got to serve a drive-through penalty for a pit lane infringement. So the championship leader, Conor De Filippi, and his teammate Christopher Mies, currently running in 4th place in the Audi, will be promoted up onto the podium.
Now you get 3 laps, don't you, from notification to
yeah.
take your drive-through penalty.
I guess leave it as long as possible to pull away from as many cars as he can, and you know that might save a couple of positions. Oh, Jons has gone round in the Bentley after all that work to get into the points. He's pointing around, battered front end. I wonder if he had another go at Marcus Pommer in the Audi. No, in fact, revenge was sweet, wasn't it? That was
Spengler, wasn't it?
Yeah, in the number 32 Lamborghini, Florian Spengler. He'd been given a tap earlier on by the Bentley to get him out of the points. So Spengler back into the points. Bentley around.
Oh, that was a hit, wasn't it?
Yeah. Number 7, Christa Jons, one of several cars to be referred to the stewards. 32 is under investigation now as well, which is Florian Spengler that we've just seen. And, well, got him in the points, but it's not done the car any good, has it? And he might not be finishing in the points at this rate. So who was 12th? They might be picking up a point now.
Oh my goodness.
That was the I was actually in 12th, might be getting into the points, is the number 5 Lamborghini Huracan of Norbert Seidler and Jaap van Lagen, which was one of the cars that was facing in the wrong direction at the start of the race. Great story if they get the points, won't it? It was on fire now, Dave.
Oh, yeah, just about
right.
Well, fire or no fire is still going.
Dropping back though, disintegrating, and just trying to get back, but be careful not to get a puncture. Right, the Lamborghini from 3rd place comes in to serve its drive-through penalty. That will knock them probably out of the points now.
So rejoins onto the track now. The clock has ticked down to 0, and here comes the Ailing Benaldi car of Florian Spengler and Emanuele Zanzini. We're nearly wiping a photographer on the way in. And here, though, is Jules Gounon, who leads the race. Corvettes have looked pretty mighty and dominant during the course of this fantastic ADAC GT Masters race. So Callaway competition going to be potentially taking P1 and P2.
I think it's 9th place for the 16 Lamborghini, so it might pick up a couple of points, Dave.
Okay. So they cross the timing line. Turn into turn 1 to start the final lap for Jules Gounon and Daniel Kalvitz and Patrick Assenheimer and Dominic Schweger, with Conor De Filippi in P3 in the Audi. Of course, him sharing the driving duties with Christopher Mies. Wherever you look around the circuit, there are various bits of GT Masters car laying strewn. Still got a DTM race to come here. There'll be a fairly intensive track sweep, I would think, before that race gets underway. So there is Conor De Filippi in the Audi R8 LMS, the Monteplasce Berlin Motorsport car.
Been worth the entrance fee alone for this race, though, hasn't it? It's been very lively indeed. 8th place over the line was the car which was running in 3rd to the pit stop drive-through penalty, Luca Stoltz and Mirko Bertolotti in the Lamborghini Huracan. So they are at least going to pick up 4 points towards the championship.
So then, for the final time, it's around the final turn, and Jules Gounon weaves ahead of the checkered flag. Patrick Assenheimer taking P2, and here comes Connor De Filippi to take P3. Before we'll see David Yarn to take P4, and then to take P5, it's Marvin Dienst. There's Daniel. Well, what a race that was. An hour seems to have gone in an absolute flash.
Well done, Jules Gounon, Daniel Karvitz. Daniel was patient, wasn't it, at the start of the race? He spent the whole, bar one lap, wasn't it, at the end when they pitted, spent the whole of that first stint staring at the back of the number 69 Callaway competition car of Dominic Schwager, but it was during the pit window that they were able to get ahead and pretty much keeping that gap similar all the way through the second half of the stint. Very good job by Jules Gounon. They were about 2 seconds clear when they came back out of the pits. He wins by 2.6 seconds, so a very good job by him. War dramas. That was Marcus Pommer's car with lots of smoke coming from it and a few positions behind into the gravel trap. That's Spengler car.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, they've just got themselves up into the points after all of that. Furious. So, sorry, the number 5 car of Norbert Siedler and Jaap van Lagen. That's Norbert Siedler walking away. So no points for them. So number 77, Jules Gounon and Daniel Karvitz win the race, their first victory of the season. That makes them the 5th different winners that we've had now from 6 races in the championship. Only Sebastian Asch and Luca Ludwig have won more than once. They've won 2 races, but they haven't picked up any points at all this weekend. So they'll drop out of the top end of the table now. They were second coming into this weekend in the points, the Mercedes pairing. So second place for the number 69 Callaway competition car, which led early on, led the first half, Dominic Schwager and Patrick Assenheimer. But they've had a good day, 2 podiums, good weekend, second today, third yesterday. Fourth place goes the way of the number 17 Team 75 Bernard car of Matteo Cairoli and David Yarn. And then in 5th place, really coming into the fore in the second half of the race, Marvin Dienst, last year's ADAC Formula 4 champion, one of the, if not the youngest driver in the field, Christopher Zanella, his teammate. And then to round out the top 6, having a much better day today, the Schubert Motorsport BMW of Jesse Cron and Luis Delatrez coming through in the second half of the race. And one more place was gained by the Lamborghini Huracan after its drive-through penalty at the end of the race. The number 16 car of Luca Stolzer and Mirko Bortolotti got one back on the last lap of the race, up to 7th place. Okay. Yeah, 8th position for number 3 from 19th on the grid for Benaldi Motorsports, Lamborghini Huracan of Kajala and Pavlovic. And then the other points finishers, Marcus Pommer and his Phoenix Racing teammate Marcus Winkelhock take the Audi to 9th place and 10th position. The final point went to Aust Motorsport, the Audi R8 of Lucas Schreier and Xavier Nassan.
Wow, what a race. That was extraordinary. And there, everyone parked up now. The drivers will be ushered up to the podium after all the media interviews are carried out. No matter where you were looking on the track, there was something going on.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a good job they've got a few weeks to repair the cars now, isn't it, before the next round. Red Bull Ring next, which is another spectacular circuit there in Austria, isn't it? Nürburgring, Zandvoort and Hockenheim still to come. 3 events done, 4 to go. Approaching halfway in the championship, and it could barely be close to just a few points between our top 2.
So as Chris has said, it's the Red Bull Ring next, which always provides great race action, and the Lausitzring certainly hasn't failed us on that score either with the ADAC GT Masters. And all the media attention at the moment on the 1, 2, 3 drivers, and then they'll be ushered up to the podium. There'll be some very busy race engineers or panel beaters, certainly before the end of before they go to Austria.
34 cars. I think probably about 28 of them have got some sort of damage, haven't they?
It's the last one running. Goodness me. Yeah, pretty lively. But in fairness, for all the rights and wrongs of it, however many thousand are in this grandstand beneath us, they will have really enjoyed it as much as we did.
Yes, completely. Yeah, lots of action from the word get-go, wasn't it? Turn one, that was it. That set the standard, didn't it?
It did, really.
And there's going to be some busy stewards as well, because there are lots of cars and teams under investigation, mostly for on-track activities.
But there was Jules Gounon and Patrick Assenheimer. Those Corvettes really, really dominant here, and some distance ahead of the Audi of Conor De Filippi, which took P3. So fantastically engineered cars from Callaway competition. That's for sure. The C7 GT3 car and Jules Gounon. Pretty chipper about what they've done, and rightly so.
And that win for Corvette means that's the 24th win for a Corvette of various types. Joint now at the top with Audi and Lamborghini. So 24 wins apiece for those three marks. Porsche next on 17. No, 18 after yesterday. Fourth.
Told you it would be page 19 of the fascinating facts today, and there it was. Thank you, mate.
Don't break your helmet. They're not cheap, are they? Sure.
Fantastic.
That's the first thing he's done wrong today.
Yeah.
It's a good catch, though.
It was. So still being interviewed, as you can see down there, before they're ushered up to the podium, which is where they're heading right now. Of course, as you can imagine, lots and lots of media focus on them. Turned over a bit cloudy now.
Yeah, it's
only
30.2 degrees.
Oh, okay.
Get a coat on in a minute.
Positively chilly. Turn the central heating on. Right, Gounon and Carvet's P1. Assenheimer, Schwager P2. Then it was De Filippi and Mies, Jan and Cairoli, Dienst and Zanella. Really good drive from Marvin Dienst, in my opinion. Jesse Krohn and Louis Delatraz. Then it was Lucas Stoltz and Mirko Bortolotti, who, as you say, managed to get themselves back into the points following that drive-through. And it was, you can see the rest of the order there. And Marcus Palmer and Marcus Winkelhock finishing in P9 with Lucas Schreier and Xavier Masson rounding out the top 10. The rest of the order on screen for you. And sorry to say, quite a number of DNFs. Which is always a shame, but there we are. So we take some super slow-mos of the top three. Top two, it's Patrick Assenheimer then in the Corvette C7 GT3 car. Of course, it was the Corvette Z06 that was for so long the staple of the ADAC GT Masters, but this car has really proved its worth as well, hasn't it, already? The Corvette C7 GT3, and this the race winning car of Jules Gounon and Daniel Carvetz. Two completely different liveries, but run by the same team. And there is the point situation with Conor De Filippi at the top now, but only 3 points ahead of Daniel Carvetz and Jules Gounon.
Top three making their way onto the podium. Second podium in the weekend for Assenheimer and Schwager. Then he wants to make the podium twice this weekend.
Yeah.
I think I'm right to say it's Jules Gounon's first win in ADAC GT Masters as well. So extra special for him. Only win number 13 for Daniel Carvetz. Definitely is the most successful now in terms of number of wins. But quite a formidable pairing. They've got the consistency. They've proved they can win races now. They're going to be ones to watch in the second half of the year, aren't they? Callaway competition, the winning team. The 1-2 for them, of course.
So baseball caps go back on, and Thomas Burkhardt then, Vice President for Technic ADAC, makes the trophy presentation to Jules Gounon. Daniel Karvitz putting his trophy down as we go to Manfred Voigt making the next trophy presentation to Dominic Schwager and Patrick Assenheimer. And Patrick Spackman, the head of marketing and product management for Alfred Karcher, makes the trophy presentation to Christopher Mies and Connor Di Filippi.
Assenheimer and Schwager actually got onto the second step of the podium yesterday, didn't
Yes.
they? They got called up early and went on the wrong step of the podium. And they were, as if they were predicting the future. That's where they actually are today.
Yep.
Fantastic trophies, aren't they, for the
Yes, they are.
drivers. And we clock for them all as well.
Look
For the
out.
team at Callaway.
Stand by. Oh, he's got it.
Sure, Gounon was the last one to get going, but he came in stealth-like from behind, didn't he? Got them all. Cheers. Well, what a well-earned victory that was. Karvitz, patient, harassing their teammates, but I mean, driving like a centimetre from its rear wing for most of the first
Absolutely
half hour of the race, yeah. And then Jules Gounon did really well to just drive the car, try and forget about the others and soak up the pressure.
Still haven't finished yet, have they?
Tastes nice, but it's not good in the eyes. Champagne. It's going to sting, isn't it? It's going to smell nice for the flight home as well, isn't it?
So there, the winning car. Actually, by due to the fact, of course, that it has been the winning car, looks relatively blemish-free in comparison to many of the others that we've seen today.
It's all the bodywork still intact, hasn't it? One of the few. Great team effort as well. I don't think we saw any errors in pit stops as well today, did we? Or yesterday, the teams just calmly, making sure they got to as close to the minimum time as they could, but not hurrying, trying to keep calm as they made the changeovers.
Yeah. Christopher Mies has got that off to a tee, hasn't he? That super slow-mo.
He's had a few, hasn't he, over the years?
Yeah, fair point. Yes, that's a fair point.
Yeah, bonus podium for them, though. I wonder if that might make the difference at the end of the season, that extra few points that you get.
That's sometimes on reflection, isn't it, on what has happened during the course of the year, and you think, wow, that's when something changed. Well, there we have it from Chris Hartley and from myself. Thank you so much for watching what was a very entertaining race. Bye-bye for now. Well, we are still here. We didn't go because the highlights package had to be elongated because there was so much action. So we got the highlights early and missed half of this podium, Chris.
Yeah, busy cutting away in the edit suite there, weren't they? Half an hour highlights package. All the incidents that we had. Some more trophies for De Filippi and Mies. Third place, another win for our overall winners as well, Jugadon and Donald Karvitz. Silver class driver of Jugadon.
Made their way off the podium now.
And they saved the bubbly this time.
Yes.
I think they've had enough. Or they're going to go and find the boss of Callaway and get him again.
Yes, got it, didn't he? Big time. Well, the ADAC GT Masters never fails to entertain, that's for sure. Fantastic cars, fantastic race action, and has certainly been the case today. Really, really impressed that huge grandstand full of race fans, and it's all very, very tight at the top of the points table now as we go into the next round at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. And it's the undulation almost of the Red Bull Ring in Austria which provokes fantastic racing. I mean, it's that section particularly from turn 1 up to turn 2 where you go uphill, and there's that left-hand kink in the middle of it as well, and it's such a pinch point because when you go through turn 2, the Remus turn, you're continuing to go uphill as well. So and with these big and such powerful cars, it's absolutely fantastic.
It'll be a great setting for the next round of the ADAC GT Masters Championship. And equally, the Nürburgring, the Grand Prix circuit next to the Nordschleife, and Zandvoort will provide their own challenges as well. Zandvoort's another superb old-school racing track.
Sorry.
Yes, just more highlights and more cars losing more bits.
Who got the points for the biggest hit, I wonder. But there we are. There were a number of them, as you can see, and just a little nudge here and there. Well, early on, that was a problem for the Jaap van Lagen Norbert Siedler car, wasn't it? Which was really going to recover from that, and how to make a gap as wide as possible and then see it narrowed once again.
Trying to prize their way in, drivers, and others just not conceding. It's a battle out there, wasn't it, today?
Yes, it was. It was in very, very hot temperatures, and race action was extremely hot as well, and just various bits hanging off of various cars. Well, there we have it then. The ADAC GT Masters Race 2 certainly didn't fail to deliver in terms of the entertainment stakes, and it was a real success story for Callaway Competition and for the Corvettes. Race action will resume with the ADAC GT Masters, of course, at the Red Bull Ring next. From Chris and I, thanks for now. Bye-bye.